Hello and welcome grade 11s. In this video presentation, we will be discussing the rise of communism. By the 20th century, two economic systems dominated the world. They were capitalism and communism. After the Industrial Revolution, capitalism was the dominant economic system. Capitalism was essentially an economic system which was controlled by a minority of the population. They are known as capitalists who controlled the wealth of the state. They controlled the means of production which included land, mines, industry and businesses. The rich got richer and the poor became poorer. Capitalists also made huge profits, which they kept for themselves and paid their workers very low wages, in order to increase their profits. Workers had no rights and the government did not interfere at all. Have you ever asked yourself, why some people are so rich and have more money than they need? Have you ever heard your parents complain about their bosses and of how little they are paid? Well, chances are that you might be living in a capitalist state. It was in this context that the people of Russia rose up against their leaders and capitalism, and created a new form of government and economic system called communism in 1917. So what is communism? Communism is an economic system, developed by Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels. They set out their ideas in the Communist Manifesto and Das Kapital. They believed that a capitalist system created an unequal society and this led to a creation of different classes. The rich and the poor. They believed that the world was being dominated by a minority of those who have everything, the haves, over a majority of the world's population who were the workers, the have-nots. The minority who are the rich are also referred to as the bourgeoisie, and the workers who in the majority are referred to as the proletariat. They firmly believed that the haves were exploiting the have-nots. In communist propaganda pictures, the capitalists and the bourgeoisie are often shown as well-dressed and fat, whilst the proletariat are shown to be thin and look very poor. But what do you think? Is this an accurate depiction of all those who are rich? The main aim of communism is ensuring that there is no unequal distribution of wealth and is characterized by the following. Workers, who are majority, control the means of production and have an equal share in the profits. The state nationalizes all land, mines and industries and therefore controls everything. There will be no classes in society, no rich and no poor. A classless society. Everyone will work for the betterment of the society as a whole and not just for themselves. As you can see in the cartoon, the workers who are at the bottom are actually holding everything up. And when they realize that they are the ones who actually have the power, the ones who are above them can be toppled over. This kind of thinking scares most of the capitalists and bourgeoisie, because they know that they can lose everything. In some countries, you can be arrested for thinking like a communist or challenging the capitalist system. Karl Marx theorized that one day the proletariat would have to be led by a few known as the vanguard. These leaders would lead the proletariat in a revolution against the bourgeoisie by force. The proletariat would then establish a dictatorship and seize control of all land, the mines and industries from the capitalists. There would then have to be a transitional phase from capitalism to communism known as socialism, during which state would control all the resources and provided for the needs of the people. In time after this had been achieved, and there is now equality in a classless society, there would be no need for governments. The people would be working together, sharing the land and controlling the country together. This would then be a true communist state. As stated previously, in some countries, you can be arrested for thinking like a communist or challenging the capitalist system. You can labeled as a threat to society, who supports the call for violence. This would not be entirely untrue, because you must not forget that Karl Marx stated that a violent revolution might be needed to overthrow the capitalists because they will not just give up their wealth and power. So as communist, some will assume that you also support violence. So what do you think? Which would be better, capitalism or communism? Do you want to live in a world in which everyone shares the land, has what they need and not more than they need, or in a world that would allow you to accumulate more wealth than the next person, your own business and your own land? Some may have the opinion that neither will be effective but instead a combination of both capitalism and communism. And it really all depends on the character of the people in charge of the country. If they are selfless, then the country can prosper, but if they are corrupt, then both economic systems can fail. Thank you for watching this video and please remember to subscribe to the History Crew channel.
Hola, hola ladies and chitas. I go by the name of Jules O, former history student, filmmaker and musician by profession. This is a message for the History Crew. Guys, use the time that you guys have now use it wisely. You'll never, ever, ever, ever get this time back. Use it wisely. Study hard. I know it's boring. I was once a student myself, trust me. Anyway, guys, take care of yourselves. Study hard. God bless. Enjoy the rest of the year.